Good Erev Shabbos, everyone. This week's Parsha is that of Balak. Here we have, after the defeat, the amazing, miraculous defeat of Sichon and Og, the great armies, in which there were no casualties to Klal Yisrael. It was without doubt the miraculous divine intervention of Hashem. And now the people of Moab who witnessed this, although they were not threatened, Klal Yisrael asked them permission to traverse their land. They refused, and Klal Yisrael went on a different path. They were not threatened whatsoever. Nevertheless, their hatred that they had for the Jewish people, especially from the Midianite leader Balak, who they appointed to be the Moabite king at that point. Balak discovers that the power of Moshe Rabbeinu is found in his mouth. So he seeks out an adversary whose force and power is also found with their tongue, and that is the Gentile prophet Bilam. And he asks Bilam, and he says to him, "L'chon orally, come and curse for me this nation. They are very powerful. Ulai uchal nakeh. Perhaps I can strike them." So Rashi says this word nakeh can mean I should strike them, I should hit them. But then Rashi says davar acher. In the Mishnah, the word nakeh means menakolei min adomim, to subtract or detract from the amount of money. In other words, if somebody says, I want $100, well, take off this, take off $10 and 90, I'm subtracting the $10. Here too, what Balak is saying to Bilam, curse them, perhaps I can subtract from them. What does that mean? We have no idea what that means. Bilam attempts to curse Klal Yisrael numerous times, and each time Hashem transforms his words into blessings. The second time he says to Balak, I want you to build 7 altars. On each altar, I want you to bring an ox and a ram. And his yatsev koyalolasecha, you stand here by your offerings. V'anoichi anai kora koi, and I will happen to go koi here. Interesting that the word koi, which means here or thus, is used twice in this verse. Hisyatsev koi, stand here, stand thus, and I will go thus. Strange, isn't it? In a medrash, the Sifri, on this verse in which Balak says that I wish to have you curse them and subtract, the Sifri, the medrash says, subtract what? Subtract 25,000. Or subtract koi. Subtract koi. Koi in Hebrew is chafeh, which means 25,000. What? What does that mean to subtract 25? Subtract koi and 20? What is going on with the koi in this week's Parsha? At the end of the Parsha, when Bilam recognizes that all of his attempts have failed, and it is indeed the will of Hashem not just to prevent any curse upon Klal Yisrael, but to demonstrate through Bilam and through Balak how beloved Klal Yisrael is unto Hashem, that the blessings that he has given us are immutable and immovable, and they will always remain. There is nothing that can be done that will shake them. Bilam, realizing that his words will mean nothing, gives counsel to Balak. He says to Balak, I have advice for you. The God of Israel despises immorality. Have your daughters come up with a plan in which some of the men will be brought into their stores. Let the old women sell some things, and the Jews are kind, nice, wanting to befriend their neighbors. And when the elderly women bring them in, let the young, attractive women come, and let them use their charms, and let them eventually seduce the men. This is abhorrent to the God of Israel. And then you will see that he will remove his presence from amongst them, and they will be vulnerable. Indeed, Balak follows the advice of Bilam. He sends his own daughter, as a matter of fact. And son, the daughters of Midian, they come and they follow this plan. And some of the men of Israel fall victim to this, even though what they intended to do, they thought they would be disgracing. They were asked to do things that would be an abomination and a disgrace to any deity. But that was the method in which the Pa'or idol was served, and that's what these women, when the men were being charmed by them, that's what the women asked of the men. Do these horrendous, disgusting things with this idol. The men said, you want me to do this on your idol? Okay. Not realizing that they were being deceived into actually serving the idol. And as a result, there was a terrible plague. And in that plague, it says 24,000 members, men from Klal Yisrael perished. 24,000. But not 25. It was the hope of Balak, Nakeboy. I can subtract from Klal Yisrael 25. And that's what Bilam meant. Hisyatzev koi, stand, not just stand here. You got to stand what, in this spot? He could have said, stand by your offering. No, stand here. What is here? Koi, 25. Meaning, by your standing by these offerings, that will enable me to bring upon them a curse that will remove 25,000. It'll remove the 25. And Anoichi Karakol, let me go, that I should be able to find that portal in which I can open up the doors and invoke a curse that will destroy the 25. What is the 25 that we're talking about? We're talking about what Bilam and Balak were well aware of, and that is God's blessings to Klal Yisrael. God spoke to Avraham when Avraham was childless and thought that he would not have any heirs to carry on his life's work of spreading the knowledge of the one true God unto humanity. And Hashem took him outside and said, look up in the sky. You see the stars? Count the stars if you can. It's impossible. Koi yihye zaracha. So shall be your offspring. Koi, chaf hey, the word koi, which means is 25. In addition, God also said to Avraham Avinu, when Avraham was faced with the remarkable test in which he was told to bring his son, his only son, Yitzchak, as an offering. And that would mean not only would Avraham be taking the life of Yitzchak, his son, but he would be rendering himself the greatest hypocrite, because God had told Avraham that, and Avraham perceived this and spread this knowledge to all of humanity, that God doesn't want sacrifice, human sacrifice. He is a God of loving kindness. And God loving kindness absolutely abhors any type of brutality that is performed. And therefore Hashem tells Abraham, bring your son. You who have preached your whole life against this, bring your son and let us see what shall happen. And Abraham did this. And Abraham was worthy of a blessing from Hashem, that Hashem said to him that this is going to be a great merit for you and for your children. And we find that by the blessing that God has displayed and presented to Klal Yisrael, this is the blessing of the Birkas Kahanim, in which God said to Aharon the Kohen, he said, Koi Savarchu, you, this is how you, thus shall you bless. Koi, that word koi, which is chafei 25, this is how you shall bless Klal Yisrael. Yivarechecha Hashem v'yishmerecha. God will bless you and he will protect and guide you. There are three words to this first blessing. These are the three words corresponding to the three patriarchs, Avraham, Yitzchak, from whom came Yaakov and the 12 tribes. This was the great reward of Avraham and Yitzchak, that there would be a Yaakov, a Yisrael, and a Bnei Yisrael, children of Israel. This is the blessing in which we find Yivarechecha, there should be bracha. The word bracha is found 25 times in the Torah, the Baal HaTurim points out. And it concludes via same l'cha shalom. God should present upon you, place upon you shalom. The word shalom is found in the Torah 25 times, the Baal HaTurim says. This is what Bilam and Balak were well aware of. The blessings of Kayiya Zaracha. Your descendants, Avraham, will be like stars, not just plentiful and numerous like the stars, but the stars illuminate the darkness, even at the most dark periods of our lives for human existence. There will always be that spark, that light. That will always be the light that shall guide us. That shall be the Jewish people. And Kaisavaruchu, and the Jewish people are worthy and the recipients of this blessing that is delivered to this day through the Kahanim, God's blessing upon Klal Yisrael. Bracha, Shalom. This is the Koi, this is the 25 that Balak said to Bilam. Is there not any way we can subtract this 25? And Bilam said, let me do what I can. You stand here by your offerings, Koi. Let me destroy the 25. I will go and seek out an opportunity and a means to destroy Ikara Koi, the 25. And indeed, when there was death brought upon Klal Yisrael, it was only 24,000, not 25. What we see from this Parsha, so many magnificent lessons. Our enemies, they are aware of how unique, special, and blessed is Klal Yisrael. Sometimes we are the ones who are ignorant. We are the ones who forget that we're the descendants of Avraham and Sarah, Yitzchak and Rivka, Yaakov, Rachel, and Leah. We are the ones that God said, they are the stars in the heavens. Avraham, you see these Jews, these people, these are your descendants. These are the stars in the heavens, shall illuminate the world, be a light unto mankind. And Kaisavachu, and this is the bracha that they shall have and receive. It is eternal, even without the temple and the temple service. The blessings of the Kahanim in Israel on a daily basis. In the diaspora, amongst most of Klal Yisrael, reserved for the Yom Tovim. But the blessing remains. The bracha, the shalom from God upon each and every one of us is available and it's there. Our responsibility is to know who we are. Balak knows who we are. Bilam knows who we are. Our enemies know who, the mullahs know who we are. Now our mission is, we need to know who we are and appreciate and be filled with great gratitude to Hashem, for he has chosen us, recognizing the unique spiritual qualities and properties that we possess, share them with humanity, and bring in a messianic era. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay Jewish. Have a wonderful Shabbos.